Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
Okay, everybody. We have finally made it to the first time of recording in our new studio. Well, our new building. New to us building. We are, we've been working our ass off nonstop to get everything situated. We still got a long ways to go. Thank y'all for bearing with us from the dog supply part of it. We've been behind. We're steadily trying to stay up with us. So just bear with us and thank y'all for all your support. So, but we got a guest with us tonight. We got another one of them Florida guys on here with us. Originally from Cuba though, but he lived his whole life down in Florida. This is the man who's had a whole pack of dogs in an apartment with him at one time. So that's what I call a dog man right there. So without further ado, we got Raul Cabreja on here with us tonight, and we are going to talk some shit about some dogs. So how you doing, Raul?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Oh, man, we are doing good. Doing good. Just freaking tired from working all the time.
Oh, you tell me.
So I tell you what, tell our listeners, give them a little history about yourself. You know, who you are, where you live at, what kind of dogs you run. Just kind of give us a story on yourself there.
Okay, so my name is Raul Cabreja, and I'm originally from Cuba. I was born and raised there, and at the age of 16 years old, my dad did all the paperwork and whatnot, since there's a lot of political problems between Cuba and the United States, and it's mainly on the Cuban side. It's the system, it's socialist system. So it's bad. My dad did all the paperwork, whatever. It took about 2 years. I came in the States when I was 16, straight to Miami. And down there I lived for 11 years of my life. Then I'm back in 2020 when COVID hit. We were looking to buy a house, and we just had a trip to Georgia, and we kind of fell in love with Georgia. And then we started looking for properties around here, and we found this one. It's close to Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
And that's where I've been the last 4 or 5 years since 2020.
Sweet.
It's a nice area down there. We've been through there and we've hunted.
Mm-hmm.
We've hunted fairly close to there a few different times. We hog hunt a lot. So what all do you hunt?
All right. So I hook, man, I'm all over the place. So I hog hunt. I hunt hogs. I try to. The problem with that is the properties. It's hard to get properties, permission.
Mm-hmm.
I rabbit hunt, and that I do it in the winter time when it gets a little cooler. I got a pack of beagles, and those are the dogs that I had in an apartment down in Miami. I had 4 beagles and 3 weenie dogs, 3 dadsons.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then I couldn't hunt a lot, and that's basically year round. Summer, spring, winter, and fall is the heaviest. Just because in the summertime I do some hog hunting at night as well, just to run the dogs at least.
Yeah.
And I rotate back and forth. One day hogs, one day coons, maybe 2 days. And then we run bears when we have a chance. When I can escape and leave the house for a day or two, I surely go and run some bears with some friends. I love it.
Yeah, the bears, man. What little bit I've got to do, it's very addictive.
It's just so awesome to see that bear in the tree.
It really is. So I don't, man. If I lived where there was a bear season or where we could run bear dogs, that's what I would be doing. I think all the time, honestly. So what kind of dogs do you run the most? Plotts, you said?
Yeah, I run the plots on the big game, on the hogs and the bears.
Yeah.
I really want to have a solid pack of bear dogs because I'm hooked on this deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a partner in North Carolina, and he's working with me, and then we testing dogs and see what we can come up with, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
Yeah. It
Because I don't have them right here.
Okay. I got you. So do you go to North Carolina and hunt more for the bear, or you get the bear hunt in Georgia any?
Yeah. Okay. So in Georgia, I hate it down in the swamps. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And the Okefenokee swamp, and
Oh my God.
that's what. Yeah, it's right borderline with the Okefenokee swamp.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, if the bear is headed to the swamp, we got to cut the race.
Yeah,
you just have to.
So you're down there. Like we went to Fargo, a place called Fargo, and I just talked to Cody Godwin right before we started this episode. That's what he was telling me. He's like, "Hey, bear season's over. If y'all want to come run hogs, I was like, I do, but God dang, man, that's some rough shit down there.
It is rough. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I left Florida, because I was liking the hunting a lot. And then also the gators. The gators is what really gets me. Like throwing my dogs where there's gators, man. If you think about it, I mean, let's say you have a dog you've been working with for 2.5 years, and it's turning up and it's doing pretty good. And then you lose it to a gator, just like that. I mean,
yeah.
To some people, it don't matter, but to me, that's a whole lot of time and money just lost. If I could avoid that situation, then I'd rather go to the mountains.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I definitely see that point, no doubt. That's a lot of time and money to put into a dog.
Yeah, and what I have right now, is I mean, I'm trying to get my own line going on with the plots, and what I have right now is probably my foundation, and I'm pretty cautious about where I dump my dogs at this point. When I know that I have this female and this male, or this 2 or 3 females and this 2 males, and if I cross them, I know I'm getting the juice back again, then we can, we might be able to lose 1 or 2, but right now I'm at a point where I'm very, very cautious about losing the dogs. And you can always lose them, to a road, a hole, a stick, they climb up a tree, fall down. I mean, there's many things that could happen, but if you can try to avoid certain situations, I'd rather go that route myself.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's we hunt in some places that are really rough on hog dogs, and I was just telling Cody earlier, I've got some young dogs that are ready to really be in the woods, but the places that we're limited to hunt right now because of deer season, I'm just going to hold them back because it's too dangerous, But I mean, like you said, you can lose them at any time, but I don't want to put them in a position where I know that it could happen faster.
I mean, yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's the way it should be, looking out for that dog if you can.
Yes.
If you can. I mean, if you know they're going to cross a highway in 300 yards and there's a 70% they're going to cross that highway, and, I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, and
I have a soft spot for this dogs in a way too. I'm not blind either, but I wouldn't be able to sleep if I know I could have helped it, if it makes any sense.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. I'm just like I said, I'm the same way, and I think a lot of guys are that do this. You know, they once they get to a certain level with their dogs, they're it's not easy to attain what we want, and so it's a lot of time and work in it. So we become more careful with it, and we think more about it instead of just like we did when we first start. It seems like when you first start off, you're like you just want to hunt. And so it's no big deal, but the more you do it and it becomes about the dogs and the line of dogs that you have, it's a really big deal then. Is there a certain line of dogs that you've got now that you've used to kind of create your own foundation?
Yes. So I mean, I have it with all the breeds. I got the Beagles, and I'm a pretty dependent guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I became a kind of a breeder, because if I lose 2 or 3 dogs, hey, it could happen. If I lose 2 or 3, then I call the breeder, hey, can I get this cross again? Oh no, I sold the mama, or the mama died, or you can't get them back. So if you have them in your hands, it's good. So the Beagles, I have one female that I brought in from Russia. She's pretty wild. She's wide open. I mean, she runs hard. And then I have 2 Beagles from competition lines. Actually 3. So 3 and her, and out of those 4, I have 9. So they're competition dogs. That's what I have. They're 5-star Smoky. Pretty good competition dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they're beautiful pleasure dogs. I mean, they know what they got to do at an early age.
Nice.
And then the Plotts, I got my Plottsman from Robert Longshore. He's a preacher here in Georgia. He's had those dogs for over 40 years now.
Man.
And of course he bought dogs from people, because you got to buy dogs to start with.
Mm-hmm.
His first dog, he bought it from Berlin King. That's a very controversial guy.
Yes.
In the Plott world. But he's got his first dog from Berlin King. And after that, I guess he just started doing his thing. He was a blue tick man. He started doing his thing, and then 40 some years later, I meet him. And those are the Plott dogs that I have. And they also go back to Bill Hicks' original Plotts. Robert Longshore, he showed me letters and stuff from Bill Hicks and him. And he used to visit the man himself. So he's got some of that in there. That's what it is, but it's been. And I got one cross that I made that comes from Joe Pride. He's got some very good dogs. I don't know exactly where he stays. Okay. But that's what I have here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now you said the other guy there was some controversy in it. What was the deal with that? The controversy. What was so controversial about him?
Oh, well, look, I'm not deep into history.
Okay.
As far as digging into history because I believe, man, I no offense to nobody, but I believe that what we have now is what we should go for, not the nostalgia of, oh, that dog is in the pedigree way back. Yeah, he ain't here no more.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. I do agree.
It's extremely important to have those papers, because you can see. And if you have hunted or seen or have people who have hunted with them dogs, they can give you information about them. It's pretty good, but you cannot always go just by that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not big into history, so for what I've heard, if I'm not wrong, Berlin King, he didn't have no filters.
Okay.
He wouldn't have no filters.
Yeah.
And that's it. He will challenge people in the magazine, like, I challenge so and so, let's hunt, blah 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 blah.
Oh,
so that's what I've heard about him. Yeah, he was not scared. He was confident in his dogs. That's what I believe it was. I might be wrong, but that's what I've heard.
Okay. Well, I had never heard of it, and that was the only reason I was kind of curious of it. We've got to where we talk to a lot of guys with Plott hounds, and which we Mr. Bob Plott does a monthly segment on here now. He's just been, I think, he's done a couple of episodes with us. So I'm trying to learn all I can about anything about Plotts or the history of them. Just
Man, they have some history, and I'm hooked with the breed. One of the things is they can do anything you want them to do, man.
mm-hmm.
They can run coyotes, foxes, the ones that have been bred for coons, or I mean, they're tree-minded, man. They make great coon dogs. They run the bears, of course, then the hogs. I mean, any kind of critter. I mean, I have a Plott that is hell of an armadillo dog, baby. I mean, come on.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah.
I cannot break that lady from doing such. And she's my first dog. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
He's my first mature Plott, old Plott dog that could hunt. Because Robert Longshore and me became friends.
Yeah.
And we have a relationship. I mean, he was here last week.
That's good.
And
That's
at some point he gave her to me. So the story between Robert Longshore and me, I'll tell you the story if I can. It's a little long, but
no, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I live in Miami. I have my beagles. I'm watching Mountain Men. I'm watching Life Below Zero. I mean, I'm watching all these shows, because this is what I want to do. I'm trying to gather information for myself. I'm also ready, believe it or not, and this is out of the topic, I'm getting ready for the socialism that wants to come over here. And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But out here in the country, you have it way better. So I'm watching all these shows. I got my beagles. I want to hunt. And I'm like, man, if I could feed my dogs from the land, they would really have a nice purpose. Like, they will have a good purpose, and it saved me up some money. So I moved over here, yada, yada, started a job, and it was a mining job, and I was working night shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And there's a lot of downtime. So I started looking for hounds podcasts, something about dogs. I mean, I wanted to listen to dogs. And then I started listening to the Houndsman XP. And then at the beginning, they used to discuss a lot of breeds and this and that. And then they fell into the Plotts, and I liked what I heard. And then I got into looking on the Plott dogs around, trying to find me some reputable breeder. So I could start me a pack of dogs that I can catch hogs with, and feed the dogs and just have fun too. Because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I start looking, and I find his page, and I get in touch, and it's with his granddaughter who I get in touch with. She runs the page. He's 89 now.
Oh, okay.
But she runs the page, and I got in the list for a puppy. I wanted a puppy. Because then I've heard about Robert Longshore in some podcast. They were talking about Plott dogs. So I've heard about him before. He's here in Georgia too. So after 3-4 months, I gave my deposit. The puppies were born, and she gets in touch. I picked my puppy. I was the last one on the list, but my puppy died.
Oh, man.
So yeah. So she's like, look, I can reimburse you, or we can wait for the next round. And I said, you know what? Put me on the next round. I'll be the first one anyhow. So I did that, and then time passes by, maybe 7-8 months total. And then they had a litter. I chose my puppy through a picture at maybe a week of age, just by color. And I hate that. I would like to see him running around and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a list of people waiting, you can't really do that a whole lot. I reckon so. And I went and picked up my puppy. And that morning, when I went there with my wife, Robert Longshore came out of that door, and he greeted me. Good morning. How are you doing? Actually, I'm lying to you. The first words, so he opened that door. The sun is shining on that door. I have a picture in my brain. And he looks back inside the house to his wife and says, oh, my God, they're just 2 kids. I mean, he's 87 at the time, maybe 86, and we're 28.
Yeah.
28, 27, something like that. And anyhow, and then we started talking, and he made me feel bad about myself for running Beagle. Because he said, come on, man, you leave those little things alone, man. Leave them little rabbits. You got to come and hunt some bear with me. Okay. So I bought the pup. I come home and all that, and then days go by, and he calls me, you know, and he invites me to church. And I go to church. I go to his church several times. We hunt together several times. And then from there, we just built up a relationship where I handle some of his dogs, and that's how I found the foundation for my line out of his dogs.
Yeah.
Also, him and me got into conversations before where
Jeez.
I felt some kind of concern. I felt some kind of concern on his side about the dogs, as far as who's going to continue this, like, good dogs.
That's right.
Test his dogs. And then I guess he's seen it. I mean, he's seen it. He chose me in a way, you know, and he asked me if I could, you know, keep hammering the dogs and help them find, you know, better dogs. And that's what I've been doing. I bought one male from him, and I'm basing everything out of him. He's something else.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, to be able to become friends with somebody who's been into the breed for that many years. I mean, he's got a lot of knowledge, and, you know, you can learn a lot from him. And plus he's got, you know, he knows what good dogs are. So, you know, he's going to have good dogs.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars and Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
Yeah. I mean, I have learned a lot from him. I ask him if I have questions.
I got you.
Just questions. Yeah, I have questions. Like, I'm doubting myself, so I ask him, do you think this is this, or you think this is that? And be like, no, I think it's this. I'm like, okay, yeah. All right, we got it.
Yeah. And that's good to have somebody you can call like that, because, like, I mean, for a long time, I had a couple of guys I could call. Man, like you said, I doubt myself, or I need to know something. I call them, and they just like, here it is. And it made life a lot easier. And they were always very, very willing to help, especially like when I was my first litter of pups, my first ones that I had that we bred up on the yard, and I was starting doing the whole process myself. Man, it was a big help to have somebody that knew more than I did. You know, so do you breed? So you're a breeder now?
I was a breeder in Miami.
Okay.
I started with the Beagles as a side hustle.
I got you.
As a side deal, because, I mean, the pups down there, I was selling a Beagle pup for $1,500.
Oh, shit.
With a waiting list. Yeah, and people will have a deposit. I mean, I've seen the opportunity. I was a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 pets, and I said, wait, what? They sold me this pup for this much, and I got a male and a female. Oh, what? So I made some numbers, and it made sense. And I tell you what, but I always told my wife, and I always talked to her about it. These dogs, what we're doing right now is not going to be a full-time job. It's not going to be something that we're going to do forever, because it's hard work, and it's a hassle to deal with people and where you place these dogs. So I told her we're going to get some help from these dogs now to get everything set up, and then we can then take care of the dogs if it makes any sense. You see,
Oh,
they help me.
yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. They paid for their self in a
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
You bred the dogs, you sold the dogs, and I mean, of course, you had to keep them to keep the line and keep breeding them. And that helps you get further along into the dogs into another breed. So yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with that at all, man. That's being smart about it.
I mean, look, this is the way I put it. If they can feed themselves every year, we're in a good shape. I'm
Yep.
just putting the time.
That
And
that's a good way to look at it, Raul. I wish more people looked at it like that. That dogs need to feed themselves.
they do. They need to have a purpose in life. I mean, we're all different,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, I don't know what to say,
No,
but
it's
yeah,
a
it
good
helps.
thing. Yeah, it's and it's like we use our dogs to hunt game, and there's times we get paid to hunt. There's times that people will pay us to take them hunting. There's times we get paid to hunt a property, and when we remove the hogs or whatever we're doing, then that's we feed the dogs with that. They
That's exactly.
you know
Sorry to cut you off,
no,
but
it's it.
that's exactly what it is. It's venues. Find venues with these dogs that they can bring money in so they can feed themselves. If you're passionate about it and you like it, you should have decent dogs. They should be able to pay some bills. That's just my opinion. Yeah. With the Beagles, I was going to do that, start guiding hunts. But after I invited one or two individuals, I don't think I trust anybody shooting on my Beagles.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's pretty hard. Yeah.
if I invite anybody to hunt over my Beagles, man, feel kind of special. I trust you.
Yeah.
I trust you. But that's exactly right. And with the hog dogs, I want to do the same. It's just hard. As far as property management, I've done a few, but I guess it's word of mouth and it's over time you build up all of that.
Yeah. It's where we live at. There's not a whole lot of hogs. There's not a big population, but it's starting to be more. And I've been doing it for around 20 years here, close to it. And so the word of mouth has really helped me. You know what I mean? I was hunting a lot of these properties when there really wasn't any hogs there. A lot of times all I was doing was just walking my dogs and catching armadillos. And then,
Hey,
but I stayed with it. And now there's a lot of new people that show up with hog dogs and they still can't understand why I get all the property. Well, it's because of all the years that I've been here. And like you said, the word of mouth, it'll get there. It just takes a little time.
it takes a little time, and some people, some guys don't don't respect property, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one reason why they don't get more property.
Yes.
Um, look here, man. At least 50% of the time, like with the size of properties that I have, at least 50% of the time, when I'm on a hog and we are hammering a hog, this joker is going to cross a dirt road and go into somebody else's property.
Mm-hmm.
I can already read what this hog is doing, where it's going to happen. You know exactly what I'm saying. So I'm already waiting for them dogs to cross. If I can get before the hog there and shoot it, I will. So I can show the owner we got one
Mm-hmm.
any way we could, but we got one. But I cut them off, and people don't respect others' properties. And if I let them dogs go the other way on the other property, the landlord that gave me permission is going to receive a phone call, more likely, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then after that phone call, you will receive a phone call, and it's not going to be good for you.
That's exactly. We just had that happen to us. What, Nate? 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's just a few weeks ago, and like I said, it wasn't anything bad, and it didn't result, but it could have. The reason I went to we got off of the property that we were on, and the dogs were down there on the neighbors, and he had a trap, and we didn't know that, and the property owner didn't know it either. So this guy only had like 20 something acres, a very small property. But I went and knocked on his door, left my number with his wife, and the man called me. And he wasn't real happy about the dogs and all that. But I talked to him for a minute and he told me, he said, well, Joey, he said, I really do appreciate you coming and knocking on the door and leaving your number. He said, that way I could call and find out what's going on. He said, and I've already talked to the guy whose property y'all were hunting. He said, so everything's okay. He said, but let's just wait till after deer season. And then I'm fine with y'all hunting all of it. So, I don't get to hunt the property during deer season, but it could have been the other way. Like you said, if I hadn't went and cut the dogs off and told the man I was there, but he had game cameras down there. So he already knew we were there.
Mm.
If I hadn't said nothing and he called my landlord, then like you said, I would have got a call that wouldn't be very nice. They would have been like, hey guys, y'all can't come back and hunt because y'all were trespassing. And that's not what we were doing, and it worked out to now when deer season's over, we can hunt everybody's property. I just got to wait 2 months. But after that, now we got more property to hunt.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's exactly right.
I had to respect it. But I mean, it's tough to do though. It's hard to manage property like that. Like you said.
Oh, it's pretty hard. I mean, the dogs can read the signs, man. And I run hounds.
That's the thing to say, and you're running hounds, so that's, man, them dudes are going to be rolling.
They get rolling, man. I mean, if there's no game and they're looking, they might be half a mile looking.
Yeah.
Just keep on rolling.
That's right. So do your dogs, do they bark on track?
Yeah, I want them to.
Yeah, I just want to say a lot of people, they want them to,
Yeah.
Some folks don't. It just, I guess a lot of it's preference, but we've caught hogs with both. I've caught them with dogs that bark. I've caught them with dogs that were silent.
That's the first time I heard this podcast. Somebody shared on the story, and there was a title was something like that. You can catch them with barking dogs and not and silent dogs, and that's true.
Yep,
and that is true. I like the hounds myself.
Yeah, if you got a hound that's fast and that will stay with it, I mean, you're going to catch the hog. You'll run him till he just can't run anymore. Blow his lungs out,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You'll run that somebody to death, which a lot of cur dogs, and I know there's going to be guys out there that's listening. They're going to be talking shit, but whatever. But a lot of cur dogs, they're not going to they can't run as long as these hounds, in an 8 or a 10-hour race and just pushing double-digit numbers and just pushing that hog, just hammering and burning him up. A lot of cur dogs, they just don't do it,
I have seen them, man. In the summer, in the spring, 3 hours since the months you get out of sun. That's what I'm asking myself out of the cur dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. This hound's just gonna get gassed out in the summer if it gets pretty hot. On the spring, I mean, they're gonna feel it too, and that's something I avoid. It's overheating.
Yeah.
So I give them certain amount of time to finish. If they can't finish, I'm going to cut them off. I'm never going to call them off, but I'm going to cut them off.
Yeah, cut them off and pick them up out when they cross the road.
Yeah. In the summertime, I'll do that. I mean, I don't want them. You see, if I can avoid the situation, I will. I've seen the cur dogs, bird dogs, cur-bird mix. I mean, they get gassed out. In the wintertime, they'll last you a little longer, though.
Yeah.
That's no doubt. But then in the wintertime, this hound is going to run. I mean, all day.
That's right. And we travel and we went to places and hunted with guys who run full-blooded hounds and then guys who run like a 3/4 hound, quarter cur. And we put our full-blooded curs in there with them. And they do real good for 3 or 4 hours. And then they start falling out. And I'm talking about in like July and August when it's real hot and it's real rough. And I've done that just to see what the difference, because I want to see the difference. I don't want to talk about it. I want to see it. I want to know it.
Yeah, you want to see proof.
That's right. And these dogs were barking every breath, and we still caught the hog. It was a 5-hour race, and we went, I don't know how long, how far, but we still caught the hog. So all that bullshit you hear about, well, if a dog barks, you ain't never gonna catch the hog. That's a lie. And we've done it a bunch of times. And you hear people talk about, well, my cur dog outrun them hounds. I need to see that. I know there's some really good cur dogs, but is it a full-blooded cur dog going against a full-blooded hound? Man, you're going to have something special. I promise you.
That's so
something special.
there's several reasons why I got into the plots and hounds in general. And one of them is my first experience with hogs. These hogs run, man. I mean, they run. And I said, I need something with a lot of bottom to keep up with these jokers. This is the first place I got permission on, and it's about 2,500 acres, but they're going to run. So I went ahead and then started looking for hounds. I had the place before. I had the dogs. And then, that's why I went with that choice of dogs. And then I have found that since I usually run in places where they are going to run, no, I mean, nobody wants to hunt these places. I mean, I got the leftovers in a way.
I got you.
Oh, hell no, we ain't going over there. Some running son of bitches. Hell no. I mean, so that's what I got, and that's what I like. And I have found that if you have dogs that can catch those running hogs, when you bring them to an area where those hogs don't run as much, man, it's just bang, bang, bang. Yes. What the hell is going on here?
Yep, I like that. I'm the same way. We try to hunt. We've got some places, and like you said, nobody really wants to hunt. It's all real rough, and the hogs, if you get on them, it's going to be a race. It's going to be a hell of a, unless you catch them right there in their bed, it's going to be a race. And but once you go to where there's a lot of hogs, and the hogs don't run, you're going to catch a lot of hogs. Like you said, it's real good for the dogs.
Yeah. I mean, you can test what you have in rough places, and I like rough places myself. The coon hounds, man, I got properties. I got 500, 700, 800 acres of just pine, no water, straight 7 and 8 year old pines. I mean, that's all it is. And I dump them in there, and I know it might not even hit a track. They go hunt that place if it makes any sense. And then when you take them to a place that is easier, come on, man, it's just one after the other. So they need, in my opinion, a dog. If you're serious about finding what you have, if you're serious about finding out what you have, you got to throw them in the rough places.
Yep.
And then you'll see what you have.
Oh yeah, I agree. And you got to take them. You got to take them to new places. And that comes with, I feel that's like with becoming more of a dog man yourself. Like I said, and I'm not saying that I'm a dog man because I'm not. When I grow up, I'll be one. When I get older, maybe, but I'm trying to be one. And so that's why I travel. I want to come hunt places like you got and see how my dogs do there and see what the difference is. And, and in that way, I know what I can, like you said, I know what I'm feeding. Because if you hunt the same place every time, and it's easy, and you go out there and you got a feeder or a bait pile, well, you ain't doing shit.
I like if a dog is right there, it should be about 2.5 years old, maybe 18 months old. I don't like hunting them out of feeders unless it's a hog that they want out.
Yeah.
Or a property that has coons and they want them out now. I don't like hunting out of a feeder. I'd rather just free cast them. Just sit in the truck, open that dog box, and just send whoever and just wait. I'm tired all the time, son. I don't want to walk that much.
I get it. I do.
They've spoiled me. I'll tell you what, this plot, they have spoiled me as far as that.
Yeah.
They have. I mean, I hunt with friends, and I usually don't take any of my dogs, only the doggos, maybe one Plott or two. They run silent dogs, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's their style. I'm being invited, so I'll bring one Plott, maybe two, and then I'll dump them once it's on. If they're being loud, I'll dump them. But yeah, I like just sitting in the truck and waiting for the dinner bell.
Hell yeah. So on your on the coon dog on your coon dogs and hog dogs and all that, do you have you run the same dogs to do all that with, the same plots, or do you have different ones?
I'm working on having different ones.
Okay. I didn't know if you
So-
had like the same, if you had the same pack that would do all of it, or if you were going to have two different packs.
Okay, so it's kind of complicated, but I'm gonna break it down so people can understand what I have going
All right.
on. I have told this to 100,000 people. So the male dog that I have, I got him. I was trying to hunt hog, and I had a female that somebody gave me. I had Maybell, the female that Robert Longshore gave me,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed more pressure on them hogs. So I went to Robert Longshore and I asked him for a dog. Borrow me a dog or two. I need to hunt him. So he said, take good old Rack. Take Rack. He usually don't get in trouble. And keep him in shape for hogs. He's a bear dog, but a coon dog. So this is one of the only ones that does them all three. And he
Yeah.
does them with style. So I took him, I dump him in hog country. I mean, this place is infested with hogs. Well, this joker's a mile and a half away. He's 9 years old. Mile and a half away, and I'm like, he's bait up. Yeah, come on. And he was with baby. They were just, banging it in a spot. And I'm like, okay. So when I'm walking to them, they move maybe 40, 50 yards to the right. I'm like, hell yeah, you're trying to go. That joker had a coon.
He did what?
I was stoked. He had a coon.
I had a coon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was treated with a coon. So I was kind of stoked. I wasn't angry at the dog. I'm like, what? He has a coon? Okay, whatever. So I took him out of there and then took him hog hunting the next day in the same place in the daytime. And then he got on a hog, and then he actually gave me permission to a property because I asked for permission to a guy to go on a field to get him. And I said, hell, man, he'll catch a hog by himself. He split and he had a hog by himself. And I kept trying to hog hunt him, and he will do, but sometimes he'll fall off on a coon. So I started coon hunting this joker, and he likes the coon more than anything else.
Okay.
Now he was a lead bear dog, but he will do them all three. If I want him to, sometimes. The other night I dumped him on a hot hog. Son, he started that thing beautifully. He got the dogs with him. Next thing you know, he pulls up tree with a coon. I couldn't be angry at him.
No, I mean.
But anyhow, he's all over the place, but he's good at all of them. If he wants to hunt the hog, he's gonna get it going. Oh man, I got dogs out. Can we stop this for a second? Can we record this? Can you hold on for like a few minutes?
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Go
Give
ahead.
me a second. Yeah,
Do your
they
thing.
ran out. Hold on.
That's fine. No big deal. He said he had dogs out. We're at about 38 to 40 minutes in. So that's where the break would be. So you'll probably have to take. I don't know if they done had a wreck down the road or something, but it's like I can't get away from these ambulances.
No, can't.
Well, we've got the door open too, so it's not very damn helpful.
Hey, y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh my God, man! I had like 5 eagles running around.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my old lady was chasing now.
Did you get them
So
caught?
I'm on the story. Yeah, we got them all.
Okay, good deal.
So, okay, I'm on the story of if I hunt everything with my Plotts or what I just hunt, right?
Yeah.
And I was rambling about that dog.
You were talking about him. He you put him on a real hot hog track and he had treated coon.
Okay.
He got it started, then he treated coon, and then that's when the dogs got out.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, man, he treated coon a hot hog track. I put him on, and then he treated coon. He starts with a coon. He likes the bear. He rigs, but he's the only one that might do it all. But in my opinion, if you want to really have a dog excel on his game, it's better to keep it only at that game. I train my dogs on hogs, and I run them on hogs, but I want bear dogs. Yeah. But I know that I won't have the better bear dogs or the bear dogs that I want if I just switch them back and forth. That's just my opinion now.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. And so I'm going down a breeding program here where I compete with the coon hounds, or at least I'm trying to. I'm trying to reproduce coon dogs. That's the main purpose of my deal here. But I will call dogs from that program. I will just call them. They're not good for competitions. And the reasons being will be it's a horn dog. If I have a male that is 10 weeks old and he's humping everything,
yeah,
he's not gonna be a coon hound.
He ain't
gonna be no coon. Yeah.
Listen, they probably would have called my ass for being a horn dog when I was young too. So, oh man, that's good stuff.
But I called one for that. And I soft called them because they're serviceable.
Yeah.
And this male dog that I've been talking about, he passes his traits very good on them dogs. So, a dog that is too humpy, I will call him. A dog that doesn't have the mouth that I like, I'll call him. A dog that doesn't tree as I want him at certain age, I'll call them. Doesn't mean they won't tree. They just need a little bit of time for what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. Some of them will start treeing like they know what they're doing at 7 months of age, 6 months of age. Some of them will take them as far as 1.5 years to even go. And that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time, But it was a first cross that I made, and I wanted to test every dog. But at the end, all 6 pups are making. They're doing from that cross.
Well, that's good.
I call one for being too rough at the feeding time when it's time to eat. If they don't want to share, they're just trying to be rough. It's out of the coon program. And then all those dogs that get out of that program, they go to the big game program. And then I'll either send it to my partner in North Carolina, where he runs only bears, or I'll either keep it here and start it on hogs and then send it to him on bears, and then we'll test them. We'll see what they really like the most.
Yeah. I got you. So how do you start the pups on hogs? What's your training method on that?
Well, in general, the way I start my pups, let's say I have 5 pups and they're just out of the litter. Some are going to be for hogs or bears, and then some for coon. At 6 weeks of age, I take them out of the nursery home and I put them on a above ground pen, and then they'll be there until the second shot. And when they get their second shot, that's about 12, 13 weeks or so, I'll put them on the ground. And that's how I start my dogs. I just let them run here in the yard. We have 11 acres. So let's start running, and then I have a bunch of cats. When they start harassing and chasing the cats, when they start bothering the cats really bad, it gets annoying, I'll put them up. And then I'll leave them up for about 7 months. And at 7 months of age, then I start fooling with a coon in a cage. Mm-hmm. Maybe by this time, I already have 1 or 2 dogs that I already know they won't make the coon program. So them, I'll show them a hog. I got to show them a hog so they know what I want, kind of. So I saw him a hog here at the house, and then next thing we know is going out in the woods, man. Just take him with the old dogs.
Okay.
Just take him with the old dogs. So I was showing him a hog one time. Might make a mock hunt where I just plant a hog and let them find it in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all. From there, it's just taking them with the dog.
I got you. That sounds like a lot of the way that we do ours. In a way, like we honestly, the past year or two, we've been letting them. We got a lot of cats, like you said, run around. We got a good bit of land there, and once they start chasing those cats all the time and treeing them, and these cats are feral, they just run wild, So once they're down there on the creek and they're treeing these cats, then we got to put them up, and then we'll let them sit for a little while, and then we'll show them a hog. Or a coon, whichever one, see what they like, then we'll go from there with them. So that seems to be pretty cut and dry, pretty standard deal there. It works.
I believe, man. Yeah, it does work, and in my opinion, but you have to let that puppy be a puppy. I don't ever personally don't run into the issue on which I take a dog for the first time in the woods and he's goofing around and playing around and being I never run into this issue. And I believe, in my opinion, it's because I let them be pups here at the house. I let them socialize, be all together in the pen with the older dogs, learn manners, learn when it's time to play, learn when it's time to be serious about stuff in the pen. And then when you take them, that's why I let them mature a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also not friends with taking a puppy. Let's say it's 7, 8 months old, and I take him first time, and he's hanging around me. You're going in the box, and you're going in the pen. We'll see next month.
Yeah.
Because he creates a lot of bad habits. I see a lot of people, man, they take a pup. If you want to walk hunt, that's another story. But if you want them to just cast and free cast, go way over there, just look for stuff. You shouldn't take them that young, because I believe it's just a habit they get to be around you. They want to hunt, they'll hunt, but I don't know. It's just my opinion.
No, I agree. I do with that, because, like I said, we deal with a lot of cast dogs, and when you start taking them and you let them hang around you, especially if you try to pet them or talk to them or whatever, you can't do that. They got to go. What we'll do is, if we take older dogs and we let the young dogs go, we try not to take more than 2 young dogs at a time, because if you get a bunch of young ones, then they're going to be out there playing or whatever, if they're really young. But like you said, we tend to wait on ours till they're, 8, 9, 10 months old. And that's when they want to go hunt. And so when we turn them loose, they'll go with the older dog. If they go out 500 yards, that's good. And they go out and hunt a little bit. If they come back, we put them up. We just put them back in the box and try to get them used to, every time we turn them out of the box, that they know that they need to go out. Because like you said, it creates a lot of bad habits of them just wanting to hang around.
You see, I pick a lot of people's brains. Like, I ask them questions, and it might seem like silly questions to them, but I'm trying to learn. And every time I go and hunt with somebody and they bring a young dog, and that dog is playing and goofing around, I ask them, how do you raise that pup? Mm-hmm. And 99% of the time, they have this pup by itself since it was a little pup. So it never had to socialize, never had to play. So when you take them out, they just want to play, mm-hmm. do that childhood stuff. I guess that's what I've seen.
Oh yeah, and it does. We've done it both ways. We've had it where we didn't socialize the pups together a whole lot, and then we've had it where the pups were together all the time. And the puppies that were together all the time, they didn't play as much when we carried them hunting, like you said.
Yeah.
And the ones that were separated, if you take 2 or 3 of them together, all they want to do is play. Yeah,
Yeah.
we kind of done it like, just to see what the difference is, and it's a big difference.
It is. It makes a difference as well. Well, at least my experience with the plots, um, they want to trust you. All dogs do want to trust you, but these dogs, they want to bond with you. And when they bond with you, at least what I have here and what I have experienced, they want to please you. The ones with brains now, the ones with brains. There's dogs that have no brains. They just don't care about nobody but themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But that socializing, you spending time with your pups, young dogs, even the older dogs, just 15 minutes, 10 minutes a day, just sit down, let them do their thing, just watch them, be in the pen with them. It does makes a difference, at least in my opinion. From what I have seen, they just give more, in
Yeah.
my opinion. I don't know.
I believe you. I believe it 100%. And like you said, with it,
That's a quirk. That's a quirk that the plot that I have seen on the plots in a way.
really,
Yeah, I think that's a quirk. Like, it's not like a walker dog that don't care about nobody. Just cut me loose now.
don't nobody like walker dogs anyway, do they?
Well, the competition world is. I'll tell you.
I know.
Like,
I'm starting shit. I'm starting shit, Raul.
let me tell you something.
I figured Ranger likes plots. I know he likes walker dogs, don't he?
Oh yeah.
You know Ranger?
Oh my God! Ay, Joey, no, por favor.
I tell you, I coon hunted with Pete. Pete is a bad dog. That son of a gun is a coon dog.
I was gonna breed to that dog, and life happened. But I was gonna,
really. Yeah, he's a good dog.
Yeah.
Like for real, he's a good dog. I didn't know if you knew him or not.
Oh yeah, you know I do.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Golly.
Nah, he's
My
like
God.
that Pete dog is. I watched that
Like
dog.
I said, I was gonna breed to him.
Yeah,
I was
he's a
going to
nice
breed
dog.
to him, but it didn't follow my side whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be hunting. What I'm hunting right now would be half his dog.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on me. And I mean, I'm clean as I can be.
Yeah,
that's cool. Oh my God.
I give him a hard time. That's what I do.
Listen here. We were talking about the walkers and people liking them or not. I handle dogs for people, man. And I've had some high-powered walkers here.
Oh yeah.
There's a reason why they win, buddy. There's the reason why they win. The speed, they move around. I mean, if you got a good one, man, it's hard. You got to tree some coons with this plot. I mean, a plot will tree them and move and all that, but my God, the speed, man, the amount of ground they cover, it's amazing. And if they are trail dogs, you're gonna see coons.
Yeah.
I mean, this son of guns is crazy wild. I'm looking for something like that on a plot. It is really hard to find because the breeding pool for the competitions is not big. There's a lot of controversy in the plot breed itself with that, and I don't know why. I don't know why people but whatever, people are people, and they're going to be people.
That's right.
There's some people trashing on the guys trying to compete. Because all the plot dogs is for big. Well, I tell you what, they can do in the competition, and that's the reason why we're behind. Because all the, controversy and jealousy. To be honest with you, man, listen here, man. I'm a man that just getting started on a breed. I'm just getting started. You don't know who I am. You don't know if I have thin skin or tough skin. So you going picking on me. You're pushing me away from the breed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's a big issue right there. I had a whole community against me at some point, brother. I mean, I'm serious. All I have been doing this whole time is being a pleasure hunter, sharing my dogs because I want to see what is out there. I've never, ever claimed in any of my posts that I have the best dogs out here. This dog is back. Never. I never brag about them dogs. But for some reason, I think that just the fact that I'm posting exactly what they're doing, people think that I'm trying to say I got better dogs, and that's not it.
No, I've never seen you brag about any of them. I've seen a lot of your posts, and me and Nate, that's what we were talking about. That's how you got come in mind on this, is like, because you hunt. I mean, you fucking hunt the dogs. That, like,
I run them down,
you
man.
run the dogs.
I run them down. I mean,
Yeah.
I run them down. It is an obsessive thing. I mean, I have an obsessive personality, but I mean, and I'm telling you, bear hunters, hog hunters, everybody just raged a war on me. And 3 times I got banned. 3 times I got banned from Plott pages for just speaking my mind and saying what I was thinking. So,
Yeah.
I even said I felt like the orange man. You know, I'm getting attacked for everything. I said, come on, man, leave the man alone. He's trying to help you. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm nobody, but I'm trying to better the dogs for myself. And guess what? It's the breed that I've chosen. So instead of trashing on a guy that is trying to produce better dogs for himself and maybe for the public in the future, you should, you know, not be like that rough. I mean, come on, man. Bear hunters have a bad attitude. You will not bring people into the breed if you're down that mountain. And when you're driving in your truck, you're looking at me like you want to bite me down, man. I'm trying to be friendly. Come on, hey, what's going on? They look at you like you're inferior. Like, who's this guy here in my mouth? And they keep on rolling, and that pushes people away.
Yeah, it will. I mean, like I said, now I've been very lucky, and at the places I've went, like with the bear hunting and stuff, and it's because I went with somebody else who was bear hunting. I'm not a bear hunter, but like you said, if I was a bear hunter and I was new to it, and I've got the plots, and here I go up the mountain, it's going to be the same thing. People are going to look at me, then they're going to be like, well, who are you? Or why are you here?
Bear hunters are cliquey, extremely cliquey.
But like I said, I've been very, very blessed. The ones I have met have been good folks. They've all treated us very, very good. But I will say this: I was also with other bear hunters. You know what I mean? Like I'll
put it this way. Sorry to cut you off, but I'll put it this way before it slips my mind. They present a persona that they actually are not at times, but that will push somebody away. When you get to know most of these guys, they're pretty cool and sweet, but they present a persona that pushes people away.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm used to bullying. Like where I come from in Cuba, that's what we do. We bully each other. I mean, we make you cry, or you fight, or you just laugh with us.
There you go.
So I'm used to the pressure. I mean,
yeah,
it's not gonna make me back down. But I mean, I say community, man. Just the breed, people should come together. I'm actually having a hunt, or trying to have a hunt, that I posted on Facebook today. And it's an all Plott dog, 16 dogs, PKC rules. The first place takes $2,000 home. Second place, 1,000, and third $750, and then the fourth get the entry fee. I'm trying to do this not for me. I mean, you're paying $250 to get in the hunt, but all the money's going back to you. If it makes any sense. I'm going out of my way here to make a hunt, because the red bone guys, they have a hunt like that, or kind of, and they give a truck and they give 4-wheelers away. If you want to breed the light into the breed, you know, you gotta do something else than just big game hunt and push people away. That's not gonna. And again, the competition world gets a lot of hate, but that's actually a way to bring the light on the breed. There's a lot of this guy, that big time competition hunters, that I've talked to and I have heard talk, and they said, if there's something else there that can treat him like that, man, I want it too. I'm tired of hunting the same thing everybody's hunting.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And that's a good thing, is like you having that hunt. There's nothing wrong with that. And people should support it, especially people that are in the breed that have that type dog. They really need to support that shit.
Look here. I'm going to put it this way. A lot of people have made the comment of, I was trying to do it in February, but you can see the not any kind of support. I don't know if it's not support because I'm the one doing it, or I don't know if it's lack of support because it's just the way people want to be. I was doing it in February. Everybody, oh, it's gonna be around the Winter Classic. I cannot make it. La la la, yada yada yada. Okay, December 27, right after Christmas. You know, la 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 la. Oh no, but there's this UKC hunt here, and there's a plot section over here, and there's a. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you can take the horse. You can take the horse to the water, and that's all you can do. And I'll be fine with canceling this hunt if I have to. I'm gonna put 3 of my dogs. I'm gonna pay $750, and out of the 3 dogs, I only think that one can do. But if I got to do that to fill out the hunt and be able to pay to the first place, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. That means a lot. I mean, that's a lot. I tell you what, I know quite a few guys that run Plott hounds, and I'm gonna put the word out. And like I said, they're not big competition hunters by no means, but they love the breed and they hunt.
If they have a coon dog, a dog that is gonna treat them, ain't nobody here gonna try to cheat. Ain't nobody here, we're trying to have good old fun and bring some kind of light to the breed this way. Mm-hmm. Because I'm telling you, the big game brings light to the breed, but there's other venues on bringing light to the breed. Yeah. And for what I have seen in the magazines and old papers, like I said, I'm not big into history. But back then, in the 80s and 90s, maybe 70s, there used to be a lot of more people running Plotts in the hunts.
Oh, yeah.
And there's something has gone south. I mean, there's just a handful of people right now. Not a handful, but 2 handful of people.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be at all. And that's one reason why we were, when Mr. Bob Plott when we talked with him about doing his section on here, that's why I was all for it. I was like, you know what? I know when I was young, man, all I heard was Plott hounds. And now it's like you hear about Plott hounds, but they're not as mainstream as the Walker dogs or even the English dogs or blue ticks or anything like that. You hear more negative stuff. Like you said, it's more people arguing between themselves that have Plott hounds.
We are fading away. I mean, I'm a newcomer. I've just been in the breed for less than 3 years, but I can see it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't personally know. I would say maybe 4, maybe 5. There might be more out there, and I'm sorry, but I to this point, I only know this. Breeders, like breeders. Yes, yeah. I know a lot of big game hunters that have dogs, but I'm sorry, they're not no breeders. They're not reproducing nothing. I'm sorry. They've been hunting the same dogs for so long. Some. Yeah. I'm not bashing on people, but it is the truth. Joe Blow and Joe Dirt, they like to get together because they run this dog twice a week, and oh my God, this day, and I mean, it's not bashing on anybody. I mean, you can breed at home, but
they're hunting the dog. They're not reproducing any dogs, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's controversial. People already hate me. They're gonna hate me more now. I'll tell you, boy.
Nah,
golly.
No, we get them on the right track, man. We'll straighten them up.
But yeah. I mean, I like the breed. I'm in love with the breed. I know what they can do. I have seen what they can do. So that's why I'm pushing the breed, because I know it's capable of. Do you think I want to waste a lifetime doing this junk if they were not worth a penny?
That's right.
No,
exactly.
I wouldn't be feeding these things if they don't please me on a nightly basis. I mean, I run them every night, and at night and day when it's time to run big game and whatnot. But I've seen what they can do, and I would like people to see what they can do and hunt them and try them. I invite people to come and coon hunt with me, But we might be fading away in a way, man. Yeah. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. I don't have, there's not a big genetic pool of competition dogs out there to be picking from. There's not a big genetic pool. And the ones that have decent dogs are sour about, I don't like him. That guy, I don't know. Come on, man. But anyhow.
They don't make it about the dogs. They make it about themselves.
Yes.
That's the most thing I can see is people make it about them, not the dog. Ranger and I had our differences.
But I was gonna go and breed my dog to his dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Walker guys do. I was gonna breed him. I mean, I don't care. It is what it is. And if
Yeah.
in the future he has one that is whooping butt and it's winning, and it's one of those that are, oh man, I don't want to go deep down the rabbit hole, but I'll breed to whatever it's winning and it's doing. It has the genetics that I want. I don't care.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I don't. I've had differences with people, but I don't hold their dogs. It's like I'm not going to get mad at the dogs because if I don't like this one person, that doesn't mean he has bad dogs. That just means me and him can't get along. I mean, it don't have nothing to do with the dogs.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're people. Nobody's perfect, I guess.
I know that's the thing people need to understand is that it's about the dogs to have a breed and to keep a breed, and not just that, but our whole heritage of being able to do this, to be able to hunt. We all got to get along some form of fashion. But if we don't have the dogs, then we can't run. We can't run dogs if we don't have them. You can't have Plott hounds in the future if you're not making and producing Plott hounds now.
That's right. And I tell you, I mean, you can only line breed so much.
Exactly.
You can only do it so much. You got to go out there.
You got to go out. So you got to get out from around it because it don't take long, and you're out of options. You know? And that's where having a good network and having a good community that works together is a big plus. Like you said, like the Walker guys, the guys that run Walker hounds all the time. Shit, I can find a Walker pup anywhere at any time, off a competition stock where we live at. But I very, very seldom will you ever see a Plott puppy for sale.
That's right.
I know some guys who have them. Like it's the same thing, like you said. They have the same dogs and they're hunting them, but they're not reproducing them.
Yes. I mean, you got to provide the public with something that they will like and come back to the breed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think. And then that's why responsible breeding, I encourage a lot of that. Like, I encourage a lot of that. Sometimes people tell me, I'm going to breed this to this. I'm like, how long you been hunting that male? Oh, I just had him for 2 months. I'm like, what? You only tested that thing for 2 months and you're going to breed him?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, there's many exceptions. You can't have a dog for 2 months and you take him out every day or 5 times a week, and every time he's just bang, bang, bang. Well, go ahead, man, before you lose it.
Yeah.
That's my point. But if I don't know, it's just responsible breeding to better the breed. But you can make people understand this. They'll get angry. Man, I've seen a lot of people making a lot of excuses for dogs out there that I mean, I've taken my dogs, listen here, I've taken my dogs hunting with somebody, young dogs, and they have looked bad in my eyes, and I'm sick. I'm like, man, this dog is blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what you mean, man? Look at that dog, he's doing this. I'm like, no, that ain't enough for me.
Yeah.
I expect a lot of a dog, and that's what you should do before you breed it. Expect a whole lot, in my opinion. So then you have a better chance to have better dogs and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have any expectations worth of shit, then you're never going to have anything worth of shit.
There's more people like that, though.
Oh, I know. I know.
Trust
me. Excuses for dogs. I hear that shit all the time, and it's from people I know. There's people I don't know too. Like you said, and there's times where we've had pups and okay, just say for instance, we got a litter of puppies, and one of them say I like it a little more than I do the other ones because I play with it more, whatever, when it was little. Well, when we go hunt, say that puppy doesn't do as much as it should, but I make an excuse for it.
Yeah.
Well, then the other puppy, he's doing really good, but I don't really like him as much. Maybe because he doesn't look a certain way, or maybe he don't like me that much. So I don't give him the actual credit that he deserves. So I'm wasting time messing with something because of my feelings, or
You're exactly right.
or I'm losing time because of my feelings. Where in all reality, it should just be about what the dog does, and you should expect the same from all of them.
Yeah, and
That's
it's
my personal
heartbreaking at
opinion.
times.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking at times.
Because there's been many days where I'm like, man, I want it to happen so bad. I'm like, please just do good. And then it don't. So guess what? We can't keep him, got to cope.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
And
especially when you have expectations for one and they don't turn out. It's like, God.
Oh yeah. Or you've had the mama and the daddy, and you raised them, and they're 3 years old now, and you done bred this litter, and they're old enough to start. So now you got 3 or 4 years in it, and it don't work. Like, son of a bitch. It just,
man, that's the worst.
It sucks. So
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, so you can make an excuse real easy, and make yourself feel better, or you can call the son of a bitch and move on and do it right, or try it again.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly right. I have a soft spot for this dog, but at the same time, I'm not blind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not blind. I mean,
that's a good
I can see the holes, and I can see the holes, and I can tell you the holes.
So, what are you looking for, Raul, on your line of dogs? Tell me what you're looking for out of this dog. What from from the time it's born, what kind of look do you want? What kind of body size, what kind of build, the weight, how old should they start? Give me a rundown on what you're looking for in this Plott hound, whether it's a coon dog, bear dog, whatever.
Okay, so as soon as they're born, well, they're little bitty babies.
Yep.
But within week one, I start looking at the depth of the chest, the waist, how thin it is, the shoulders, the head, that kind of physical stuff. And then when they start growing up, I look for physical traits that either mom or dad have. For example, the double nipple. I got a female here that she has the double nipple. It's her 2 last nipples at the end. One of them is twin nipple. So it has little twin nipple. Okay. Well, guess what? Some of the dogs that this male reproduces have that double nipple. If they have that double nipple, I already know it. I don't got to second guess it. I know what it's got. I've heard that genes come in packages. So that double nipple is coming maybe with that grit, maybe with that nose, and maybe with the brains. You know what I'm saying? So if I see that double nipple, you're staying. The shape of, as far as what I have now and what he reproduces, you see, and this is with different females. This is not with the same female, different females. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for the teeth, the way his mouth is shaped. It's man, if I send you a picture, you'll laugh. His teeth, his front teeth, each one of them is separated maybe 1 centimeter or more from each other. So it's like have you seen those people who have like
they got a gap in their teeth?
Yeah, all over on the whole front grill. So that I'm looking for at that age. And then when they're about 6 weeks old, they're running and playing around and looking for the shyness. Who is shy? Who doesn't like loud noises or just weird stuff happening? I've only had it once, one puppy, and she was a little shy of noises, but she turned out to be one crazy dog. I kept her out of feelings. She wasn't shy, like you walking up to her and she's just shying away, but she was wary of her surroundings.
Yeah.
Which is shy. But I started as a coon dog, and man, she was just, I mean, come on. And then Robert Longshore couldn't hold himself, and he bought her. He bought her. I mean, I told him exactly what she had, and when she's a little shy, he said, she'll be all right. Come on. So he took her, and he couldn't hunt her. That's the only one. So I'm looking for shyness, and I'm looking for boldness, bold puppies. I mean, when I open that door, who's jumping out? Who don't care about nothing? Who's just trying to explore? Also biting my pants. This is with this line of dogs. If I'm in there, I want them to rip off my pants and hold on to it like a bulldog. If they're doing that, good right there. So far as we're on good track. And then when I take them out, is the brains, because then I have them in a pen and also an above ground pen so they can come up and down. And I'm trying to see who's smart and figure things out first. So I'm looking for brains and then mouth. That mouth is pretty important for me at this point. Not something. So I said I've called a dog for not having enough mouth, but like I said, it's not a hard call. It's a soft call.
Yeah.
And that happened with the first litter. I had one that has a little bit of a mouth. He doesn't have the mouth that I like. But you want to talk about a coon dog, man. I mean, my God, I called him and I started him on coons so I could get him onto the hogs. I was just getting started, man, and he decided otherwise. He's like, hold my beer. Let me show you what a coon dog is. So I sold him half. I have owned that one. But those are things that I'm looking at: brains, mouth, that grit, and the nose. I'm looking for pups, especially for the big game program. I'm looking for dogs that keep their noses on the ground like a beagle. Because with one female, he gave me pups that were not sniffing as hard. Those are the black ones that I'm running. They still trail very, very good. But then another litter that I have out of him with a female, those jokers had their noses on the ground like a beagle, just the whole time. And actually, that male that I kept, he might be a good trail dog. He's just 1 year old and he's cranking it up as far as trail dog. He won't quit it.
Okay.
He's gonna run it. He's learning. Those are traits I'm looking: brains, grit, tree power. My God, tree power.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that tree power. I mean, stay tree regardless of what's happening around you. And I see that with the cats. You see, when they start running cats, there's so many cats.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a pup over there treeing a cat or baying a cat or whatever, and I have another one here, I'm observing. If you're going to let your cat to come and fool with this cat, you already got one. You don't need to leave it. You know, those little things I'm looking for.
What do you do with a young dog? Say you got one that'll tree, but he leaves that tree, you know, and wants to go tree another one. He's not staying hooked up.
Well, if he has the talent to be a coon dog, and I know he does, and he's doing that junk, I mean, there's ways to fix it. One way is to just tie him up to that tree, try to get there when he gets there. When they're young, they're going to do that. Mm-hmm. They might tree and leave the tree and go check out the other dogs, what they're doing. I want to see them coming back. So at times I don't do anything. I'm just observing, even a year and a half old. But if they show that they want to go back to the tree, or they go back to the tree on their own again, then I'll go ahead and tie them up and shoot that coon down to them.
Okay.
You shoot that coon down, and then now if you do it once or twice, if he's smart, he knows that if he trees and he stays there and he don't go check on the other dog, he's going to get one for him, and he's not going to have to share it. So that's a plus.
Yeah.
So if they're smart, that's why the brains are important, because if they're smart, it's going to pick it up in a minute.
I got you. And there's a reason why I asked you that question. We have a young dog now that is treeing and treeing pretty solid, you know, getting treed pretty frequently. But
coons.
Now, yeah, coons. But like I said, it's a female, and we've only just getting her started. I say Nate's the one been doing it, and that's what I told him. I said, you know, from what I know, I don't do coon dogs, I don't do tree dogs. So I told him, I said, I think if you tie her back and knock one out to her, try to get there as quick as you can. Because what she's doing is she'll pull from the tree. She'll go tree somewhere else. Like, you know, she's not just running around. She'll hit another track. And that son of a bitch will be treed again. And like he's seen the coon in the tree that she was treed on, you know. So it was just a matter of getting her to stay there. And I kind of and that's why I wanted to ask you while we were talking about it. I was like, you know, so that's a little bit of reassurance. So that's what we were talking about. That's what we need to do. You need to do with it.
That'll be the approach. That'll be the approach. If you can, I mean,
she's never had one knocked out yet. She's never had one knocked out to her yet.
There you go. That might be the reason for it, because she's like, okay, got one. Okay, might get another one.
Yeah,
She don't know
she's
that.
wild, boy. She's wild as hell. That some bitch is quick.
She's probably, when she's lean, she's probably 85, 90 pounds. She's a
Big old
dog.
bitch. But she
I
is.
bet you're running a walker, huh?
No,
She's
hell
blue
no.
tick. She's blue tick.
Yeah, blue tick is
Oh,
sorry as
hell
I
yeah.
get.
She's.
Hell yeah. I like
She
them,
runs
boy.
with her head down in the dirt. Now, if I road hunt her, she'll start winding, and that's a good thing. But like, she was trashing everything when we was road hunting. She was running rabbits and stuff. I was like, she's running something like crazy, but she ain't opening up. And I saw this little rabbit come out, and then about 30 seconds later, she come out and looked at me, and I was like, no, it's gone.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, we ain't getting that.
But like I said, he's just got her started, and
she's gamey.
Yeah, she's gamey. Like the first time she ever seen a hog, I'm talking about she bayed a hog like a pro bay dog.
Well,
you know, so
I'll tell you my experience with trashy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I like them. I want them to be trashy.
Yeah.
Because if you have the capability or the ability to funnel all that energy that she's got to run everything she wants onto a coon and a coon only, man, you have a hell of a coon dog, because it's tree, cut it, tree, you know what I'm saying? She has a lot of hunt, and if you can just put all that into one individual animal, son, you ought to have a coon dog, I'll tell you. And she trees for what? For a little bit, a minute or two or 5, 6 minutes or what?
What? She's just been treating him just for a few minutes. Well, about the time he gets there. How long did she tree the other night, Nate, before you got there? And then she pulled off. That's what he said. How long is she treeing? Like a minute or two, 5 or 6 minutes? Or?
She's probably one time she was circle treeing a lot, and every time I was like, well, I'm gonna see if she's gonna settle or just keep running around. And then she ended up pulling back. I don't know. That was probably about 5 minutes. And one time she stayed there probably about 10 minutes. Then I was driving real slow because I didn't want to get too close and then her hear the car. And when I got like 200 yards, because she was down off in a holler, so I was trying to get to where I could actually get down in there. And then she pulled off by the time I'd put it in park, which I don't think she heard me or anything.
She don't stay close under your feet. That's some bitch goes.
That's all you need, man. You got one. I'm telling you. All you need to do is be consistent about it. Try to get to that tree as she gets to the tree, or if you're getting in there and she's leaving, just bring her back to the tree, make her tree, and when she's treeing on a pleasant way, you know that you are okay. I like the way you tree. Knock that coon down and see about the next time. If she doesn't, I mean, repetition, man. That's just it. She just it'll get there.
And there's been a few times she's treed, and I got there in time, but it was so thick with leaves and stuff, I couldn't find the coon. I was like, I don't
That is the worst, boy. Yeah. I hate it. I'm the worst finder.
I just petted her up real good and just like carry on, keep hunting.
Yeah, because I said, she's gamey, man. That's the only reason we have her, because, you know, I've never been big into hounds, but the first time I seen this little hound, I was like, well, she ain't little. Like I said, first off, she's big. Secondly,
she's a horse.
Yeah, she's huge. And then I was like, because I have a blue tick in Georgia that, well, I say I have it. I bought the dog from some friends of ours that do the bay pens, and then another girl, she was handling the dog, so I kind of just, I guess she pretty much has the dog. I've never even had it at my house. And so anyway, so shout out to Miss Shelby Cruz. She's a top-notch handler, and she's the owner. I told her last time, I was like, she makes all the decisions. But anyway, it's a blue tick. So I got this female, and I was like, well, we'll see how she does. Maybe I could run a pair of them in the bay pens. And dude, she loves a hog. Like, she loves a hog, but I wanted to see how she does treeing. And man, like I said, she never seen any coons, but she went and treated a coon. Like I said, we seen the coon. Yeah. So it's like she's got the want to and the drive. We just need to channel it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it takes a lot of grit for a dog to stay with game that can't see, only smell. Mm-hmm. A state tree, they just bang, bang, bang. It takes a lot, because it's different when they see a bear up in the daytime or they're running the bear in the trees. They know it's there, they're seeing it, but not. So she's got drive. She don't know what a coon is, and she's treating coons. You got to have one there for sure. It's the mom, sire and dam that's coon dogs or what?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Then just keep on doing the same thing, man.
It's out a really good tree stock. Like I said, I did some trading with a guy. No, I bought her as a pup. She was like 9 or 10 months old when I got her. And then we wound up, there was a boy looking for a young dog. So we wound up trading her. And then he just didn't have time to hunt her. And so Nate got her back and was like, you know what? He told me, he was like, Daddy, I wish we'd never got rid of that dog. I said, I'm telling you, I said, she's got a lot of drive. And once he got her back, I was like, look, let's just keep her and give him, something to mess with. And I think she's going to make a good dog. Like I'm with you. Tomorrow night, is it tomorrow night we're going?
Yeah.
Tomorrow night we're going with another guy, and we're going to hit the river, and they got a lot of coons.
We're going to go to Lake Gunnersville.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of coon where he hunts at, and he's got a really good dog. So we're going to go and knock some out to her tomorrow night and try to get her keyed up.
Yeah, that would be ideal right there. Give her a few, and then after that, man, it just slowly should come on.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all different. They're all different. Some of them will not be consistent at the beginning, and some of them after the first coon, there's just like a light switch,
Yeah.
But I'm noticing. I mean, I've seen the dogs that are not consistent at the beginning because they're not sure that's a tree. I've seen them. I mean, I have some of them. They start and they tree, and some nights they just trail, and they might tree here and there. But when they get it all together, son, I mean, come on. Come on. And it's just about patience. I mean, not everybody has the patience. Look, I have a female here, and her name is Smoke. Your friend told me that she didn't have no tree.
Yeah.
He told me she ain't got no tree, man. You're going to have to call that dog. Told me that I ruined the dog. I mean, man, and I stuck to that dog. I went many nights. I'm talking about 5-6 times a week with that dog, and she wouldn't go more than 200 yards away from me. And she would only trail. And I spent a few months doing this, but I had a lot of faith on that dog.
Yeah.
Son, she turned around. I'll tell you, she's the best. She's the best I got.
Really?
She's the best I got. I throw her in with strange dogs. She don't tree with other dogs. The other night we went to a cast. Them dogs treed one out of the truck. She kept on rolling. And they had a coon. She kept on rolling. She had a tree by herself. Recut her out of that. She had another tree. And she ain't even staying with Hamilton. And that's why I said sometimes you want to be patient with them, especially if they're special. And I'm glad I stuck to that dog. I gave her up to 2 years old. I said, if by 2 years old you're not a coon dog, you're going to be a hog dog. That's it. Bottom line. And that's the reason why I bought her. I bought her to be a hog dog. That's all I bought her for. But Robert Longshore got me into that. You got to coon hunt them dogs. You're going to ruin a good coon dog. That's a good coon dog. Man, he was right. He was right. I mean, I'm trying to put her on the PKC Plott race this year. And if God helps me and everything goes okay, she should be up there in the top 3. I think so.
Oh, that's good.
For what?
That's real good.
Yeah. I really want to be number 1. What we're competing for.
Yeah, no doubt. Hell yeah.
But life happens. Life is what happens when you're making plans. Yeah. That's just a fact, too. She's got all the tools. Where the clubs that I hunt, man, they're this clubs, the dogs that come to hunt at this clubs are $50,000 dogs that have won about $50,000. They have won a truck. They have won $150,000 lifetime earnings. They just won the state race. I'm hunting these dogs against the cream, right?
That's right.
And good handlers. And that's what I'm shooting for. I mean, I want to compete at the highest level, so I need to test my stuff at the highest level if I can.
Yep.
And all these boys, they all I'm always quiet and I don't say anything about my dog. They always say some nice things about the dog. And the last one That guy said she has all the tools she needs to do it. It's just a little bit of tune-up.
Yep.
So yeah, sometimes you want to be patient. I mean, now it would have been a different story. That
Yeah.
she was my first pup, you know. But now it would have been a different story. I would have already moved that dog into the big game deal.
Yeah,
But I have a nephew. Of hers that is acting the same way she was. So I know exactly what he's going to turn out to be, if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
When you work with the same line of dogs, you see the same things like, oh, this dog is doing exactly what this dog did. I know what is going to happen. That helps a whole lot.
Yes, it does. And there's so many people that don't pay attention to that, Raul. One thing, it's not that they don't pay attention. It's that they don't keep the same line of dogs. They just get dogs from whatever and do whatever, you know. So like we just got into the cur dogs the past, 3 or 4 years, pretty heavy.
Yes.
Well, a little longer than that, but like we really got serious with it in the past 4 to 5 years. So now it's like in the past couple years, I want to have my own line. So I'm starting with several other lines of curs, and like you were talking about, I got to watch we just got our first litter of puppies off of these. So now I got to watch what these puppies do, but I know what their mom and daddy done. So I'm going to pay attention. If they have those traits, I know what I'm working with because I raised the mom and daddy from puppies. I made sure that when I got the line of dogs that I did, I got them as little puppies, you know, so that way I could raise them and watch them.
Yes. I have a half sister to Smoke, on the bottom side. And since she was a little baby, since I raised Smoke, I'm seeing the same freaking dog. I'm like, my God, it's about the same. Actually, a notch better, in my opinion. So yeah, hunting the same line of dogs most definitely helps because you know what you're getting usually. And breeding is a gamble. I mean, you can breed. We all know this. You can get the best 2 dogs out there and breed them, and the papers might even match. And yet you get a bunch of dummies.
Oh yeah. Yep, exactly. And then again, you can have some that are just okay and get a really, really good one, you know.
Yeah, but I don't want that, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want the best I can possibly get.
High percentage. I mean, look, if you're breeding and you out of 9, you expect that 2 are gonna make decent dogs.
No,
man, you gotta sit down and think about your life once.
Yeah.
I mean, for a minute.
Because I agree.
I mean, just things that you cannot control. But I mean, a high percentage. I mean, that's not to brag on anything here, but so far, I call them for little things. But so far, the ones that I call for little things, as far as mouth, like I said, a little bit tough. The way they build, they don't look handy enough. Whatever it is, they still are serviceable dogs, if it makes any sense. And for some people I hunt with, apparently, they're better than their dogs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I really hold them to a high standard, and it's because of that male dog and what he has done, and he's the father. So, I hope they all do the same. They all won't be the same, but at least if you're breeding, I mean, out of 9, at least 6 serviceable dogs.
Yes.
That's what you should expect. And if you ain't getting that, sit back down in the drawing board and do it again. Yeah. I'm sorry. And it can happen to anybody. I mean, you could have the best that you have ever had, and 2 misbreedings, just 2 misbreedings. You lost it all, and you didn't even realize it.
Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.